Hi all, I have another very interesting game to show you of William Steinitz. This was played again against Augustus Mongredien. This is in 1863. We saw an 1862 encounter before on the channel, which was awarded a brilliancy prize actually, but this game is quite brilliant as well in some respects. E4 from Steinitz. We have G6, D4, Bishop G7. So hypermodern really from Augustus. C3 blunting that bishop, and we have double fianchetto, so very hypermodern from black. And here knight d2, so both pawns are supported. D6, knight gf3, e5. White took on e5 and played bishop c4, knight e7. Queen e2, very aggressive intent. White is not content with just castling kingside here. In fact, after black castles, he uses h-pawn. Very dangerous. Knight d7. h5, well, the knight's not arrived on f6. This is even more tempting. Knight f6, now white opens that h-file. And we have knight takes g6 being played. White castles queenside. Very dangerous position for black already. c5. Knight g5. So what's going on here? Isn't this knight defending key squares? How can white actually build the pressure on h7? And also there's a bit of pressure on e4. We see black playing a6, maybe hoping to get in b5 and maybe even c4 later, stretching out a bit over there. But Steinitz to play, white to play. What would you play in this position? What do you think he played? If I give you 5 seconds, starting from now. Okay. Knight takes h7. Yes. After knight takes h7. There's two very good moves. Steinitz chose one of them. So either will give you 200 points. What would you play here? 5 seconds. Okay, Steinitz's move was rook takes h7. Also strong is queen h5, actually, because in this position we have this pin mechanism being used with bishop h6 as the threat. And this is really dangerous. For example, queen d6, rook h7, using that pin. What does black do? Bishop d5 unpinning, threatening the queen. The queen just drops back, threatening bishop h6. Yeah, this is just really dangerous. These scenarios where, in fact, queen g4 can be stopped, so bishop h6 renewed. Yeah, so give yourself 200 points for queen h5 as well. But Steinitz played rook takes h7, which is really good as well. King takes, check, king g8. Now, white to play. This is ingenious. What would you play here if I give you 5 seconds starting from now? Okay, much stronger than trying to exploit this pin, because there might be queen f6 there, and you want to be able to crush the defensive resources. Rook h1 is much stronger, actually, believe it or not. Threatening the mate. So black makes way for his king to go there. Now queen takes g6, queen f6, and guess what the point is here? This is a very nice tactical point, which may be instructive for our own h-file attacks. And as an h-file attack person, especially in bullet chess, I really appreciate this sort of instructive material for what white plays here. I think there's a sort of myth that if you have a fianchetted bishop, you don't get mated or suffer heavy losses. This is another game to dispel that myth, that black is not entirely adequately defended here. White to play in this position, excuse the arrows. White to play here, what would you play in this position? Great move. If I give you 5 seconds. Okay, lovely idea. Bishop takes f7 actually. So if the king moves, actually, I think we just take the rook with a big advantage. So queen takes, and the point is, guess here, what would you play with white? The power of the pin piece is illusionary. Okay. Yep. Rook h8 check. So the bishop can't take. If the king has to take, which it does, then we just win the queen. And in fact, black resigned here. White is doing very, very well. I'll give you an example. If you might have thought this is premature. Bishop c6. We can basically play knight c4 with the idea of, say, knight d6 to f5. This is really dangerous, like this, for example. That's just one example. I'll give you another one. Rook ab8, protecting the bishop instead. Queen g6. We can play for knight f3 to g5. In both examples I'm showing you, the knight and queen are coordinating quite well, and also we can use the g pawn. And yeah, black's faced with an uphill struggle. It's not immediately mating or anything, but you know, black's faced with an uphill struggle. Didn't want to play on. It's quite understandable. Okay, it's the extra 2 pawns actually, which also make a difference, not just the quantity of pieces if you counter that material on both sides in the final position. Okay, I hope you got something from that, especially if you like your H pawn attacks. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks so much.